Dude, what are you doing? Here, want this? Good boy. Chill out. Hey, what's going on, Ryan? We're going to give some time for some more folks to dial on, and we'll get started. I'm going to put some on Instagram real fast. Why Winston runs around eating a Lego piece like a crazy madman. Yo, what's up, Cody? Or Corey, sorry. I should probably do this before I get on here, but it's very hard to go live and already have a URL. Hey, you want some more treats? We're going to tame the beast with some treats while we're talking, guys. Let's give it one more minute. Oh, yes, yes, yes. No, don't make that jump. You going to say hello to everyone? Hey.
We wanted to make an appearance. How many people are on?
45.
Wow.
This is Olivia and Ellie, the girls I train with. Say hello.
You're just feeding Winston in here?
Well, we're going to wait a little bit, then we'll get started. They're training tonight in the gym.
Well, got a notification.
They you live.
Oh, you
and
got.
Ellie was like, "Let's go."
Let's go wreck it, and then you guys looked at the knew where I was in the gym. Okay, now get out of
No,
here.
we didn't look. We're just like, he's not in his office. So.
Okay, I'm seeing the teenagers out. Should lock the door next time. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. As Winston eyes my coffee and wants more treats. So I actually already have some questions you guys sent me on Instagram today. So we can go through some of those, and then I can also just grab some from the thingy. So I think we're going to try and do this probably once a week for sure. And then maybe twice a week, just depends. Once a week for sure, we're obviously going to do probably like probably like 30-minute sessions. Real quick, real in and out. It's hard for me to keep an energy level at 30 minutes longer at night, especially since it's a rest day. And then if they go over well, we might do, instead of doing 1:30, we'll do 2 15s, and we'll do one on Thursday nights and one on like a Sunday night, which are my rest days. So it's easy to get stuff done. So I brought treats. That way Winston doesn't bite me during this Q&A. So I'm going to tame the beast. All right. So I'm going to go through some of the questions live because it makes more sense since you guys are here. And then if I run out of questions, we'll jump on these ones I have written down on this handy piece of paper. Why? Oh, so yeah, Carlos, it's a good question. Why am I not going to Dubai? That's actually a question I got from a lot of people. What most of you guys don't already know is I actually have a full-time job. I am a project manager for a web development company that's located in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a Sponte Technologies. So I work from home, or in some cases I work from the gym. I essentially work wherever there's Wi-Fi. Well, I've taken quite a bit of leave this year. I went to South Africa. I went to the Canary Islands. Where else did we go? Pretty sure I went someplace else, but I forgot where it was. So I've been doing a lot of travel. So it was hard for me to ask for more time off, especially since Dubai is a long trip out there. So I decided that it wasn't worth it, that the more important thing was my job, keeping my job, and not necessarily going and competing at Dubai. So there'll be other opportunities, be other events. And of course, always taking top 20 in the open. So I think that's probably going to be pretty easy to take top 20 in the open, but we will definitely see. So that's my answer for why I'm not going to Dubai. Adult stuff. Got to choose adult stuff over CrossFit sometimes. All right, next question. Yeah, we got an in-body posting. Dude, chill out, bro. Try a treat. I'm not eating, dude. No way. I'm eating one of these treats. Am I going to Wadapalooza? Jack, not going to Wadapalooza. I didn't sign up for the qualifier. I was actually out in the Canary Islands when the qualifier came out, and Dubai and Wadapalooza did some amazing planning together, decided to do it at the same time. Kudos to you guys. And they did them at the same times, and I had to kind of make a choice between either doing Dubai or Wadapalooza. I was traveling that time, so I chose Dubai because it was one workout instead of doing Wodapalooza that was two, and it was hard to fit two in. So I was already out week one, but that didn't stop me from still doing the qualifying events because I think it's still important to do the qualifying events to see where you at, where you land, and you still learn stuff, right? I still learn stuff about myself, so there's still importance in that. I'll probably end up doing a lot of the qualifiers that end up popping up just because I'll still learn something, and because I'll end up videotaping them, putting them on YouTube because people will watch them. So it's easy to do. Hey, go over there. He's being annoying. Okay, so that's why I'm not doing Wodapalooza. I didn't sign up for it. So, is your company hiring developers? No, not at the moment. But I'll let you know if they are. I think if we do, it'd be infrastructure for sure. All right. What are your suggestions for progressing in CrossFit but being a bigger and taller athlete? Yeah, so here's my thoughts on big guys being in the games. From the beginning, if you start off in CrossFit and you're a bigger gentleman, meaning 6 foot above, right? And in the world, usually 6 foot is not considered big, but in CrossFit, we're all little midgets, right? So it's considered big according to our terms. It is going to be very hard for a 6 foot guy to be immediately really good at CrossFit because they have to overcome the fact that what is it? Work is equals distance times load or whatever. I didn't take a whole lot of physics. Anyways, it's a lot more work for them to do certain movements. For instance, wall balls, I got to go further. Thrusters, I got to go further. Handstand push-ups, you got to go further. But here's the fact. If you can get a really tall athlete to overcome that and be really good, they will be the best. Not sure if I'm saying that right, but like, for instance, Fikowski. Like, Fikowski is really good because he's learned how to overcome the fact that certain movements he'll be disadvantaged at when it comes to facing me. So, for instance, if you put me and Fikowski on thrusters, on light thrusters, and had to do a lot of them, I will be usually a lot faster because I have a shorter range of motion. But if you can teach a tall guy to overcome the fact that he has a longer range of motion and to work through that, like Fikowski works on a lot of handstand push-ups because being taller, he's a little bit disadvantaged at that. But if he can work through it and get better at him, he can beat a lot of smaller athlete when it comes to a lot of other things, rowing, swimming, running. I mean, you name it. If you're tall, you have an advantage, but you got to overcome those smaller ones. So that's my thoughts on it. If you're a tall athlete, you can be amazing at the sport, but you got to overcome certain things that your body is disadvantageous for. I don't even know if that made sense, but I tried. I'm not sure on which sanctioned event I'll be doing, if any. I might just do the open and not do a sanctioned event. Who knows? Oh, geez, this thing's scrolling super fast. Are you doing Movember? No, my wife does not. This is about as long as it'll get. I'll grow my neck beard, which I call a near dad, a little more, but then she gets disgusted with it and sick, and then I cut it. Happy wife, happy life. Am I going to try the Rogue Invitational? I'm not sure yet. That's in May. That's like a long way away. I mean, I'll probably end up doing a lot of the qualifiers, like I mentioned, but I'm not sure which events I'll be going to in the end. Any suggestions on handstand push-up work? By far the worst movement. Yeah, so a lot of people tend to not do this, but we do a lot of eccentric and, hey, shh, be quiet. We do a lot of eccentric and concentric movements to strengthen that, whether it's going down or going up, right? So a lot of people don't practice that or put a lot of tempo work. Most of the time when I say tempo work, people think, oh, I do tempo work, but it's only with a barbell. Well, we're doing tempo work with gymnastics movements. Hey, please go away. We're doing tempo work with gymnastics movements, and it's still a huge benefit, right? There's still a huge benefit in tempoing handstand push-ups. I don't know if Andrew and I have done a video yet on tempo for handstand push-ups and getting better at them. But we did just finish a video that'll be up the next couple weeks for becoming better at handstand walking. So that's going to be coming out pretty soon, but we haven't done one on handstand push-ups. It's a good point. That would actually be a really good video doing tempo handstand push-ups and talking about the beauty of it and how it can help you when you get into a competition. You have to do kipping or strict or deficit strict or whatever you want to do. So that's my answer. Do you visit other KC gyms besides C3? Matthew, yes, my barn gym. No, I don't get out very much. I don't travel very much. I'm a man of routine. I like my gym. I like my barn gym. I don't get out very often. How do you manage your nutrition, macro counting, focus on eating clean? Yeah, so I focus on eating clean. If you watch some of my full day of eating or full day of training videos, I am just eating clean. Honestly, I don't even really count. Every now and again, I'll count macros just to get an idea of how much I'm eating so that I have in the back of my mind so I kind of know like, okay, when I eat that amount of food or I eat that amount of chicken, that's how much protein it is. But no, I do not count macros on a day in and day out basis. From my perspective, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, right? Like me spending that much time counting those macros and measuring my food in the long run, is it really worth it? I mean, it might be a little bit, but like it's a lot of time I have to put into it. So I don't do it personally. I'll do it for the videos because you guys obviously want to know it and that's important. And some of you do that and care about it. How do you know what your macro should be since CrossFit is a very calorie aggressive sport? Honestly, I just go by feel, right? So you obviously know when you undereat, Chris. If I undereat a bunch, then I feel like crap the next day. Honestly, I don't know. There's obviously a point where you can overeat, but I haven't really tried that, I guess. But obviously undereating is the big part, right? Like if you undereat, especially like a competition day. If I go to a competition day, like my first year at the games, first year I went to the games in 2014 as a rookie, I underate terribly. And by the last day, I was falling apart because I just didn't eat. I was at a caloric deficit and I couldn't overcome it. And I think that's something that every rookie goes through at the games, is not eating enough because they're so like into the moment and not thinking about food and how important it is. They'll sleep and they'll get on their normal tech and they'll do their ice bath, but they don't think about the fact that eating is also just as important, if not the most vital thing when it comes to recovery. So, yeah, so I usually go by feel. I know if I undereat, I'm not going to do well the next day, so I make sure I'm eating enough. But overeating, I haven't really looked into that too much. Adam, what should you look for in a box as a newcomer to CrossFit, but someone who has lifted before? So when someone asks me, like when they travel, like, so for instance, if I have people that come to my gym, they're like, hey, Jake, I'm moving out to North Carolina or whatever, and I'm looking for a good gym. First thing I tell them is, don't just show up and try the first one you do. It's the same thing as like cell phone service, right? First thing you're going to do is say, okay, who can give you the best coverage? So you go into the gym, you're going to try multiple different gyms. The biggest thing I look for when I go to a gym, if I were you, is I would look at the coaching staff. The coaching staff is the most important part. If they're going to make it the best hour of your day, kind of like what Pat Sherwood talks about, if they're going to give you the coaching you need, if they're not just, you got to make sure the coaching staff is good at what they do and they love what they do, right? You can go to a lot of gyms where they're there because they want a free membership, which is awesome, but they're there for a free membership and they don't really care about you. And so you want to make sure the gym you go to has coaches that care about you and want to see you succeed in the end, whether it's via nutrition, via mobility, or via your lifting or other goals you have in CrossFit. So coaching, if you're going to a gym and trying to find a new gym, finding good coaches is the most important part. Good question, Adam. Okay, how do I get rid of that? Balls and wings. Oh, shoot, balls. Hold on, guys. What the heck? Okay, sorry, guys. I popped the chat out. Okay. How to hit a productive training session and avoid overtraining. Yeah, so what you want to make sure of is at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's at the end of the day, it's bad to be so tired and so sore that you can't, like you're just feeling like crap, but you don't want that day in and day out, right? There obviously is a benefit to pushing those limits and seeing what you're capable of and seeing what's up here along with what your body's capable of. But if day in and day out, at the end of the day, you're feeling just emotionally drained, just physically drained, just dead to the world, and you're waking up sluggish, you're not going to improve at certain things. You might get super, super fit, but when it comes to like your CNS being overtaxed, you won't improve in that area. And sometimes I've struggled with that in years past. Is I would beat myself into a pulp, and then when it came time to focusing on certain things like snatching, like clean and jerk, like deadlift, like back squat, I was so stressed, my CNS was so shocked that I couldn't improve in those areas. So if that makes sense, overtraining is definitely something you need to watch out for, and don't do often or ever if you can. Elizabeth, do I take any supplements? If so, what? Yeah, I take, I'm sponsored by FNX, and so I take a lot of their product line of supplements. I mean, it's the basic supplements you've heard of. Like, it's nothing like super weird, like I eat jellyfish or anything, but it's like protein, carbs, wow, I'm blanking out. Protein, carbs, creatine, you name it, BCAAs, I'm taking it. Gage, I already actually answered that question why I declined my invitation to Dubai. So if you just wait till this is uploaded, you can rewatch it. It was like the third question I answered. Teen CrossFit nutrition advice. How does that differ from nutrition advice for me? I mean, obviously, if you're a teen, you're in school. So you probably just need to watch what you're eating at school. Like, I know most of the time school lunch is blow because I've been there. But you just need to watch what they feed you at school, right? Your nutrition advice should probably be no different than my nutrition advice, right? If your goals are to become better at the sport, you obviously probably need a lot of carbs. Yep, you're welcome, Gage. All right, guys, so I'm going to answer a couple questions until we get some more. I'm going to answer a couple questions that just popped up from Instagram, if that's cool. Okay. How often do I do body work? So body work, I get worked on once a week on Thursdays, actually in this same room by a lady who's a PT who comes to our gym and works on me. That includes Graston, ART, and dry needling. Everything. I love dry needling is the worst, but literally has the biggest benefits. It hurts like a son of a gun, and you're sore, but the next day you're feeling great. Someone asked me what kind of software I use for videos I put up on YouTube. I just use basic iMovie. I've tried Filmore is something new that I've been trying to learn how to use, but mostly I'm just using iMovie. Super simple. I'm still learning, sticking to the basics. When am I going to go to the UK to train with Craig Ritchie? I don't know. That's a long trip, especially like, obviously I didn't go to Dubai because I couldn't travel. So I'm probably not to go to the UK very often because then I can't work as much. So though I did absolutely love hanging out with Craig Ritchie and Jazz because they're the best, but probably not anytime soon. Have I thought about a daily or weekly podcast? I'm really not sure what you meant by asking about a daily or weekly podcast, because I already do like a once a week kind of like a live thing, and a podcast just my vocals. A podcast to me is just me talking to a mic, and I'm really not really sure what I would talk about. Like, and today on Winston's life, this is what he did. And so, anyways, how did you build your engine? Doing a lot of Metcons and not a whole lot of strength, and now it's biting me in the butt, and now I have to rotate and switch it and do a lot of strength and a lot less Metcons. So I came to the sport very fit and not very strong. I came to this sport with a lot of slow twitch muscle fibers, and it's been an uphill battle just to make sure that I get those fast twitch muscle fibers right. So that's what I'm doing right now, is making sure that I can still activate and still go really fast for short periods of time, like a 1-rep max snatch or 1-rep max clean and jerk. So we're definitely working on it. Why did you decide to start vlogging? I think I answered that in my last live Q&A, but for a real quick example is I grew up actually grew up homeschooled. I was homeschooled from first grade through 8th grade. So my mom was my teacher. I didn't start going to public school until high school. And so my mom taught me for, 8 years of my life, and creativity was stressed a lot in my family. And so I was very creative as a kid, and, went to high school, and creativity kind of takes a nosedive, and going to college, and it takes even more of a nosedive. You're not being creative anymore, really anything. And then, I got into career field and I'm working and I'm doing CrossFit. And really the only creative thing I'm really doing is creating workouts, right? Which isn't that creative. And so someone had mentioned to me like, hey, Jake, you live a pretty exciting life and you're sometimes, you're fun to follow or whatever. Maybe he was making fun of me. I don't know. And anyways, he was like, you should consider vlogging. And I was like, I don't even know what that was. And he made me look it up and I looked into it and I was like, man, I'll give it a shot. So I bought like a really cheap camera, decided to give it a shot for like a couple months and to see what happened. And I kind of honestly fell in love with it. Like for me, because I get asked this a lot, it's a really creative outlet for me, right? So I work out, I have a job, I have a wife, I have a dog. Dr. Seuss, I rhymed it. And so I have all these things in my life that I have to do, but then that creative side allows me to go off and do something else. Like I'll have a cool idea come up like, man, that'd be really cool if I did that and I should go film that or I should go do that or, and so, I've really enjoyed it. It's a creative outlet for me. And so I'll probably continue doing it. I didn't have time today, but the creative thing I was going to do today was I was going to get my drone and get a string and tie the string to the drone and then to my Yoda like backpack and then have him fly around the gym and film it and then talk about how he was levitating. I have no life. I didn't get to do that. I was too busy today, but it sounded fun to me and creative. Okay. Have you had any recent PRs on your Olympic lifts? Honestly, I haven't gone for a PR in quite some time. So no. Hey, Jacob, what are your thoughts on future of CrossFit Games athletes, i.e., do you think athletes would go beyond what we've seen in the games? So I think you can apply that same concept to like professional sports, right? So I'm sure if you went back and watched football games, take the NFL, for example, if you went back and watched football games from like 40 years ago, you'd be like, if you were watching it then, you'd be like, man, that's impressive to watch. But now if you took guys from right now and put them back 40 years ago playing football, they would just wreak havoc, You can even take that same example and apply it into our early young sport, right? Honestly, my thought, and you can agree or disagree with me if you want to, chat, is if you took any high-level regional athlete or anybody that made the 2018 games last year and you put them back in like 2010 or 2011, they would probably wreck ship. They would probably go around and destroy everyone, right? So the sport has grown in 7 to 8 years, right? Or athletes have got exponentially better. It used to be, oh man, you got a 3-minute Fran. Now it's man, you got a 2-minute Fran. You know what I'm saying? So I think there is a plateau at some level, right? Like you're not going to see a 1-minute Fran, right? Like there's certain limitations you're going to see. But could you have someone do a 2-minute Fran and still snatch 350 and clean and jerk 400 pounds? Sure, that would be really cool to see. And so I think there is going to be a lot of growth in this sport, and the athletes you see now you think are amazing, but I think 8 years from now, if the sport still exists, I think they'll be so much better. I don't think they'll be like that much faster at certain things, but I think they'll be very, very, very well-rounded, if that answers your question. Where's Winston? He's on the floor. He's tired of biting me and eating treats. Tyler, what do you recommend to an 18-year-old training-wise? Thank you so much for the question and answer. What do you mean, Tyler? Like, what do you mean training-wise? If you're 18 years old and you are trying to become a better athlete, the best thing I can tell you to do is to go out and find a coach. Find someone to watch you lift and program for you. You going into the gym and doing your own programming, while you may not think it's biased, subconsciously it is biased, right? You need someone independent of you outside the box and say, hey, Jacob, hey, Tyler, this is what you're doing today because you're not good at this, and this, and this is what we're improving on for this cycle. So my best advice is find a coach and find a good gym. Jackstar923, I hate reading YouTube names. Why'd you decline Dubai Championship invitation? When this video goes back and it can be watched again, not live, I answer that. That was my third question. So you can go back and easily watch that. Rich, hey Jacob, I'm struggling with overhead squat and snatch. Mobility is tough on the upper torso and former struggling. Have you done a vlog on overhead squats? No, but there are really good companies out there that will help you with your mobility and attaining those things, right? The one I work with specifically is Active Life RX. So if you go find a company like that and you tell them their issues, they have programs. Most of the time they have separate, they have formats for that, like bulletproof shoulders or like bulletproof your overhead squat. They have programs just for that because it's a big issue for a lot of people, right? But if your issue isn't specific, or I'm sorry, if your issue isn't broad and it's very specific, you can also do like one-on-one coaching and they can help you with stuff and help you attain your goals. So the company I work with is Active Life RX, but there are other companies that do the same thing. Hey Jacob, how do you train several times a day without overtraining? My training sessions look differently. So my mornings one are structural, my early afternoon is Metcon into accessory, and my nighttime is heavy lifting. So it's a lot of different stuff. Have I ever done any breathing exercises? No, I have not. To be honest, I usually laugh at people that do that. That's just my own personal opinion. I just think I only have so many hours in a day. I don't want to sit against the wall and do meditative breathing because I don't know the benefit of it and I'm not really sure if it's worth my time. So I don't do it. If someone else does it and you find it beneficial, kudos to you, but it's not my cup of tea. If I'm doing breathing exercises, it's because I'm rowing really hard and I'm going to count that as a breathing exercise. Jan, I'm not going to pronounce her last name. Heppner. I'm starting to CrossFit next week. How important is good gear, like shoes and stuff? Honestly, it's not that important. Like, really, if you're just starting, I started off wearing Chucks, and I owned like a cloth jump rope, and I didn't own Olympic lifting shoes. You don't need anything. That's the beauty of CrossFit is you can roll in the box with the crappiest tennis shoes you've ever seen and a jump rope you've had since you were in junior high, and you should be A-okay. Like, you don't need all this gear. Sure, is having Olympic lifting shoes important later on down the road if you decide to like look more into Olympic lifting? Yeah. But starting off, no, just show up with yourself, a good attitude, and looking to have a good time and learn something from coaches. Jeffrey, have you considered offering online coaching and programming? To answer your question, yes. But right now, no. But pay attention, and I bet you something will be coming out pretty soon. So, how do you feel about the Rogue Invitational? I think it's pretty cool. I just came out today. I think it's awesome. I'm super stoked to see where it goes. They're putting up a ton of money, which is awesome. So, yeah, that's honestly up the road for me, right? So I'm in Kansas City, and they're up in Ohio. And so I've actually never been there. I'm not saying I'll go there. That's really late in the season. I think it's like May 24th or 25th. But yeah, I think they had to do one. It's Rogue. Like, they have the huge building. They have to do one. And so that'd be a really cool event. I saw an actual comment about it that was like on like Instagram or Facebook. And it said, how funny would it be if everyone qualified to Rogue, or they invited everyone to go to Rogue, and they get all the 20 males and 20 females there. And it turns out that Rogue just gives them straight strongman events. Because, Rogue dabbles in a lot of everything. And strongman is one of their bigger ones along with CrossFit. How funny would it be if they got there and it was all strongman? There's no, 75-pound power snatches? No. Strongman log. Oh, no. You're going to pick up that rock and move it. That would be amazing to watch, but I don't think they'll do it, but that would be cool. Yeah. No, Jennifer, yeah. Winston got a little needy. He was making a lot of noises, so I kicked him to the ground. He's been at the gym all day. He's kind of tired. Elaine, what is the next thing you want to try in life? That's actually a really good question. I was talking to my wife the other day. I said, look, like, obviously I can't do CrossFit forever as much as I'd love to. I said, I might have 3 or 4 more years left of CrossFit in me. And then it's time to kind of like be done and move on. Not move on from CrossFit, but, move on from the competitive aspect. I actually, 3 or 4 years ago, started taking my private pilot's license on the side. And so I might want to pick that back up and try that again. I really enjoyed it. It was fun for me. And so I have a couple uncles, or I have a grandfather and an uncle who were in the Air Force, and so it's in my blood. But anyways, might try that. Who knows? I enjoy YouTube, and so that'll always continue, and that'll just look differently no matter what I'm doing. So if I stop doing CrossFit and I go into something else like underwater basket weaving competitively, which could be kind of cool, then maybe it'll be about that. Who knows? Maybe at least be about Winston. Do you suggest CrossFit for an obese man looking to lose weight and stay motivated? Honestly, I recommend CrossFit's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but CrossFit's not for everyone, right? Sometimes it's expensive, but if you need motivation, CrossFit's pretty solid because you have a good community behind you, right? But honestly, whatever motivates you to move is the most important thing. So if CrossFit's not your cup of tea, then don't do CrossFit. If you love running, then go run. If you love swimming, go swim, because swimming is hard and it burns a lot of calories. Like, when it comes down to it, like, whatever your goals are, CrossFit's not for everyone. They want to say it is, but it's really not. Like, some people like it, some people don't. For some people, they just want to run or they want to do something else. And that's totally cool. So whatever gets you moving, whatever gets you off the couch, for whoever you are, that's important. So whatever it is, attack it, be motivated, do something that excites you. So, sometimes, like, for instance, this year, when my season was cut short, I didn't come into a CrossFit gym for like weeks. I would take a sandbag and go run on the trails. I would go biking. I would go swimming. I just got out of the gym. So whatever it is, you can still do fitness. It doesn't have to be CrossFit, whatever motivates you. Juan, what are your thoughts on the CrossFit certifications, level 1, level 2? I've never taken level 2. I don't know anything about it, but I've taken the level 1, and if you want to coach, it's important. If you're not looking to really coach, I mean, I don't really know the benefit of it, but it's up to you. If you want to spend a lot of money, I could think of a lot better ways to spend $1,000 though. Could buy Winston a couple of costumes and dress him up like a dinosaur. Delia, I'm not going to pronounce your last name. Delia, that's a hard name. So I know you train with Ellie and Olivia. Libby's close. Olivia, and was wondering what program they do and if you'd be open to online coaching another teen athlete. Hey, so I don't coach them. I don't program for them. Olivia and Ellie get coaching and programming from my good friend, Andrew Kiekler. If you watch any of my how-to videos, he's the other coach there with me, pretty much doing all the coaching. I'm just the cute little demo boy. So he's got a website, Andrew Kiekler, or Kiekler Made Fitness, I think, and you can easily find it in some of my YouTube videos in the description. And so you can easily hit him up and he can program for you. He's open to taking on new clients for sure. So he's a pretty good coach too. Andrew for the win. Yeah. Andrew's for the win. I don't know. You're sending me all these Latin signals and I can't read them. Hey, from Spain, what's going on, Alberto? Thanks for watching. Renato, man, you guys don't have any easy names. I swear. I can pronounce the last name. Pacheco, though. Pacheco, that's easy to pronounce. Hey, Jacob, just got my arm back. You broke your radius a few months ago, but lost strength and mobility and cardio. I'm a potato right now. A literal potato. Any recommendations where to start? Quick question answer. Hey, so that actually goes back to discussion of finding a good CrossFit gym, right? So if you're already in a CrossFit gym, hopefully you have good coaches. If not, go find them. And a good coach should be able to scale for you in the workout itself. And if that's too much of an issue, and if it's like too hard to scale, a good coach, you should be able to sign up for PT and say, hey, yo, I don't want to do classes anymore. I want to do PT. And here's the issues I'm running into. I know, for instance, Andrew does a lot of PT in our gym here. And he has a lot of clients that come in with, tweaks here and there, and he works around them. So if you have a broken arm, that doesn't mean you can't squat. We're just going to have to work around squatting somehow. And so, so there's some good ways. I would find, best example, find a good coach to work around the issues you're having. And that goes for injuries or anything, really. I mean, so how do you taper for a competition? You should take like 1 to 2 days off before, but I haven't done a competition in a long time. So probably the wrong guy to ask. Jacob, we need. Are you going for the Open this year? Pretty sure you got to do the Open this year, my friend. I'm not going to skip the Open and just do sanctioned events. I will be doing the Open this year. I did the Open last year. I finished it too. I've done the Open for many years, except for the year before last. But you know what I mean. When are Craig, Richie, and I hanging out again? I already talked about that. Whenever Craig wants to come hang out with me. I don't really want to fly to the UK. I love London, but I love Kansas more, and I don't feel like leaving ever. One more. I'm neither skinny. I think you mean nor. I'm neither skinny nor I'm neither skinny nor fat, but I'm way out of shape. So I kind of scared that I'm going to puke after the warm up. Let me see. Think of a good example. Honestly, like when it comes down to it, when it comes to most people's lives, the things that scare us the most are things that are change, right? Or things that are out of our comfort zone scare us the most. But those are the things that honestly push you past another level the most, right? I don't like change, but sometimes change is good. And at the end, in the long run, when you look back and you say hindsight, you say, man, that was really good. I changed that. Or there's a really good reason for that. I just didn't like it at the time. But fast forward a little bit of time, like that was a good decision. So yeah, you could possibly puke after the warm up. And that is kind of scary. That scares me. But like in the long run, how important is it to you for your health, right? Your health should be more important than anything else. So yeah, you might puke in the warm up and it might be embarrassing. But think about 15 years from now when you're like, man, I'm so glad I went to that class and I just went and I stuck with it. And yeah, I threw up a couple times and it was embarrassing, but I stuck with it. And now look at me now. Look where I've come. Hope that answers your question. Marie Campbell, in a quick sentence or two, how can I express the reason why my friend should do CrossFit? I'm looking for a good talking point. So I already kind of touched on that earlier. I kind of said, honestly, I said, as long as they're doing something that motivates them and doing something that's fitness related, Zumba, biking, swimming, Taekwondo, whatever it is, like if it motivates them and it keeps them in shape, let them do that. Who cares? CrossFit isn't for everyone. Like you don't have to be like, oh, you think you're fit? Well, you don't do CrossFit. Like, I love the sport, but there's a lot of people in this sport that tend to think that we are the only thing that matters and everyone else does not do fitness. That's not true. I can't go win a swimming event. I can't go run a marathon. They can't win a CrossFit event. But, yes, CrossFitters in general are mediocre at everything. But just because we're mediocre at everything doesn't mean we know everything. So, but a good talking point for bringing them in, I don't know, tell them to try. I mean, you always try something once, right? I would say like, hey, come try it once or twice. If you like it, great. If not, don't have to do it again. You want to come stay in Kauai in February? That's during the Open. Probably not. Any Thanos. Nice name, bro. Did you kill all the Marvel characters? I'm so funny. Any tips about handstand or handstand walk? Yeah, so we're actually in a week, there should be another how-to video on the progressions required necessary if you don't know how to handstand walk and skills and drills to improve your handstand walk if you already have it. I actually just finished creating the thumbnail for YouTube for it this afternoon, and so that video should be up within a week. It's being edited by a gentleman who does all the Adobe Pro Premiere edits and all the titles on the top, all that cool stuff for you guys to follow along. So that should be up in a week, and it should be a pretty good video. So let me know if that helps out. Taylor, thanks for doing a Q&A. I'm trying to learn double unders. Any tips for a beginner? Dude, you want to know my story, Taylor, for how to do double unders? So there I was, whipping myself to death with my rope. So people tend to think that people that have been to the games or are really good at the sport don't struggle with certain things. That's so not true. When I first started CrossFit, I whipped myself so many times in my double under rope, and this is how I got double unders. I literally went to my local YMCA, okay, at I don't know, I think it was 3 in the afternoon or 4 in the afternoon. I went to a back room where I know no one was going to come back. There was a fight room, but no one used it. It had tile floors. I went back there. I took my jump rope and I literally brought a bunch of water and a bathroom in there. I locked the door and I told myself, I'm not leaving until I get 20 unbroken double unders. Now, if I got 20 and then I broke and I can't do it again, that's fine. I got 20, so I'm done. But that was my rule. I was in there for, I think, 2.5 hours, whipping myself to death. Now, I couldn't jump or use my calves for the next 3 days, but I got 20 unbroken double unders. So that's my story. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I'm sure sooner or later, Andrew and I will also do another tutorial on how to do double unders, and I'm sure he has some amazing drills when it comes to that that'll help out. I'm not really good at progressions and drills. Andrew's the man for that. Obviously, if you listen to the story I told you, I didn't do any progressions or drills. I just whipped myself in my calves for 2.5 hours until I got it. So that's my story. Or just watch Molly Metz on YouTube. Or you can watch Jacob Heppner on YouTube. I don't have a video for that. Yeah. All right, a couple more questions. What do I think about Sam Lubben? I don't even know who that is. I don't get out often, guys. R2D2 or BB8? R2D2. BB8's kind of a weirdo. All right, a couple more, and then I'm gonna split so I can go home because my wife will be home pretty soon. Bell End. I weigh 365 pounds at the moment. I was nearly 450 pounds and lost weight through diet and walking. What exercise do you recommend to get fit and lose more weight that is not too heavy on my knees? That is a good question. Honestly, biking's a great tool to use, right? So you could there still is pressure on the inside of your knees, right? Because you're still pushing a pedal down. But I love biking. I think biking is really easy. It doesn't really stress your body too much. Personally, I am a huge fan of sleds because the load when you push a sled, push, pull, whatever you're doing, whether it's forward or backwards, the load on the sled isn't necessarily on your body. So it doesn't tax. I mean, yeah, it hurts and it sucks, but in the end, it's not on your body. So it's not taxing your CNS. So I thoroughly love sleds. The other thing, Bell In, is I would say just go find someone local who's either one, been through the same circumstance and lost a lot of weight, or two, find a really good coach who can help you through that and explain certain things to him. Be like, hey, look, my knees bother me, so I need stuff that doesn't really load my knees. And I'm sure he can come up with some amazing ideas, whether it's rowing, monostructural rowing, running, biking, or like I said, like doing some sleds. There's some great stuff out there. You don't always have to do squats to lose weight. Now, squats are important, but that's not the end-all be-all to lose weight. So do I play Fortnite? I don't play video games very often. I am so busy with working out, YouTube, and job, and wife, and a dog that I don't have time for pretty much anything else. Can you tell us the questions on your sheet? Jack, I already went through most of the questions on the sheet. So if you go back, I think I did a section in here for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes where I went through almost every question on my paper. I had a ton of questions on Instagram. I only picked about 10 good ones that weren't repetitive. Any nagging injuries currently? Nope. Healthy as a horse. Do I break a beer every now and again? No. All right, guys. Well, hey, I'm going to end it. I really appreciate you guys watching. Let me know. If you showed up a little later and you didn't see the beginning and you want to watch it again after I'm done with this video and I click off the live, it'll immediately switch over and become available to watch the whole thing on my channel. So go back and watch the whole thing if you want to. I answer questions like, why am I not going to Dubai? What sanctioned events am I doing this year? I fed Winston some treats. Winston's sleeping on the floor right now. So go back and watch it later. If you guys really, really enjoy these Q&As, let me know in the comments afterwards, not on the live one, because the live one will go off to the side on YouTube. So let me know in the comments afterwards if you really enjoyed this. I will definitely keep continuing it. Let me know if you'd like to see a different format. I am always open to constructive criticism. In a world that is so politically scared and afraid of taking criticism, I love criticism. That's the only way we're going to get better is you telling me, hey, Jake, I loved your Q&A, but here's what I would do differently to help it out. Totally cool with that. So if you liked it, let me know in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have a good day. Tomorrow is Friday, and I will be filming a full day of training and eating again because you guys thoroughly enjoy those. I'll be filming that all day tomorrow, and that one should come up a couple weeks from now. So yeah, so. Hey guys, have a good night. We'll talk to you guys later. I would pick Winston up to wave at you guys, but he's asleep, so we'll let him sleep. See you guys. How do I end it? End stream. Yes, I want to end it.